once again to the Dead Vault Horror Show. As always, I am your cult horror host this evening, the Keymaster / Poe. Today, my friends, we unlock the Dead Vault and exhume a coffin classic from 1958. Indeed, my friends, I bury the living. Indeed, Robert Kraft, aka Richard Boone, inherits a familiar post as a chairman of a small-town cemetery. The centerpiece of the cemetery office is a map of all the plots. White pins signify those claimed, black pins those occupied. When Robert accidentally puts a black pin in the just-purchased plots of a friend and his new wife, they die in a freak accident. Robert's uncle convinces him to make another switch to see if it's coincidence or something more sinister. Indeed, my friends, I Bury the Living, 1958 horror film directed by famed B-movie director Albert Band. Indeed, my friends, now I hope you have your shovels, because tonight we are exhuming I Bury the Living. So once again, my friends, enjoy this coffin classic out of the Dead Vault. Once again, my friends, grab your popcorns now and your sodas, and make sure to bring a body bag with you, because this is definitely going to blow your mind.
Welcome to the Immortal Hills.
Thank you.
So, by way of making you feel right at home, Bobby, Mr. Chairman. Come along, sir.
After you. This is your place now,
Indeed,
you know.
break out the champagne and the pork chops.
But somehow this place all looks different to me. Like I never saw it before. Well, maybe I never had to. It's cool as an icebox in here.
Oh, that thing hasn't worked in years. Cement holds the wet, you know, makes the air a wee bit Christmassy. Won't bother you none once you get down to work.
I'm not sworn in yet.
Oh, that's only for show, sir. Now, let me see if I got the list of committee men right. First, Chairman Robert Kraft, yourself. Mr. Honiger, Treasurer, your Uncle George, Secretary, and of course Mr. Trowbridge and Mr. Bates. Making 5 in all, right?
Right.
If you can find me at any time, my dwelling straight across the boulevard, opposite the gate. Makes it nice, living so close to my work. Now, would you like to see the sights, sir? Give the roof a chance to catch the heat.
Mm-hmm.
If you care to make a tour, it's a bit warmer outside.
That's quite a map.
Oh, yes, sir. That's a map of the entire cemetery, down to the weeest speck of dust. Here we are, and here's my shed.
Do you happen to know where
Stone, and
Davy
there's the gate to come in.
Jones's corpse is at?
Kept it up to date. There's a new mausoleum
Well,
on
if
there,
you
all
do, I'll split the money
Aye.
with you.
Oh, yes, sir. This map's going to be a big help to you, Bobby. Suppose you got a customer and you want to know what ground we can show him. This is where the map comes in. One look and quick as a wink, you know who's where and what's what. It's them pins that makes it so easy. The black ones stand for the ones that is already there, and the white ones for them as has made their arrangements for the future. Now, for example, here's my place. Lovely, isn't she, Bob? There.
My
Sun in the morning,
tombstone
but,
is the one
gets
in the
those trees to
middle.
give shade in the afternoon.
I got a
You've
clear
been on this
view
job
of
now
Death
40
Alley.
years, right?
Aye.
Well, I guess the committee's right. It's high time we retired you. Nothing to worry about. Full pension. You draw the same check every month.
I'm to be paid for nothing from now on.
No, you're to be paid for 40 years of devotion. And that's something. Anyone in mind to replace you?
Oh, I hadn't given it much thought, sir, but, there must be plenty of young and hard-muscled toffs would give the right teeth for my shoes. It's a lovely place to work. You're outside, near Mother Air.
Well, let me know if you find somebody.
Oh, I will.
Yes, sir, that's quite a map.
Pardon me, sir. I just wanted to show you where we keep this in case of emergencies. No need to worry, though. We haven't had none yet. Oh, you expecting visitors, sir?
No, but that sounds like Stu Drexel.
Oh, aye, Drexel.
Indeed, he's the local weed
David
man.
was promised.
Looks like you're hitched.
Looks like they are re-upping.
She finally caught me, Bob.
Bethy, many happy returns of the day. Stu, that's a great place you picked for a honeymoon.
Oh, marriage has made me conservative. How about it, Mrs. D? Can I carry you over the threshold?
I still don't think it's so very funny. I think it's positively awful if you really want to know the truth.
Oh, Bethy, don't be
Maybe
that way.
carry you
What's
over the
trouble?
cuckoo's
How would you
nest.
like to get a cemetery plot for a wedding gift?
Now, Bethy, you know Pop never meant it for a present. It's just a formal, legal sort of thing. You see, Dad left part of my inheritance in trust for when I got married. One of the provisions was that myself and my wife had first-class accommodations here at the Immortal Hills. Doesn't cost us a cent, but we have to buy the plots before the bank will let me have the cash. You know, Dad, he never did consider me much on responsibility.
He was a very smart man.
Oh, aye, that he was. And though a bonny bride should have her thoughts far from doom, it's a lucky girl whose father-in-law provides from the beyond for her future.
Isn't he sweet?
Indeed, that's like a
Thanks,
ghost
Scotty.
PayPal or something.
Bob, Give us a cup of nutty old man, will you? And call up Owens at the bank in the morning so I can cash a check.
I don't think it's funny at all.
Once again, my
From the last
friends,
administration,
enjoy
sir.
this Coppin
Folks
classic.
get the rope
I
and they
bury
have
the
a gift sometimes.
living.
Best to be prepared. Down the hatch.
Thank you.
Oh, over here, that's where the Drexel bunch is. Ah, it'll get so you'll love it out here, Bobby. It's a fine and green and lovely place. A fine place to slip away from the cares of the world. Slip away and live a wee bit.
Oopsie daisy. It looks like he put one on
chairman
the
of the Immortal
other
Hills
plot.
Cemetery Management Committee. It is now my
Maybe
very
a
great
corpse
pleasure
might be
to announce the
alive
appointment of
by
Robert
now.
Kraft, president of Kraft's department.
Now, George, don't shush me. You railroaded me into this.
Now, wait a minute, Bob. It's your turn. Last year was his turn. The year before it was mine. Nobody refuses to take the chairmanship. Pardon us, Henry.
President of Kraft's department store.
Why?
Nobody ever has. It's just not done, son.
Well, can you give me one good reason why I should take over the management of a whole big cemetery when I'm up to my neck in my own business?
Easy, because your
That's
only
retired.
occupation is filming
course I
midget
can.
porn.
Tradition. Particularly for us crafts. You always hop on dignity, honor, prestige. Well, how do you think we got it? Because your great-grandfather, your grandfather, and your father served on every community project, board, and committee that was ever created. They served for free, but they did it for business. That's what a fine family has to do in this town. And you can't refuse to do it without losing a lot of respect from our customers.
And another thing, it's just not done.
And you
Pass me
need
over
to
the
drink
list,
the
dear. I'm up to
sacred
my
milkshake.
Bob, do you realize you're talking about
They haven't
only
got
a few
to that
hours
part
a month
yet.
at the most? McKee, the caretaker, handles everything. All you do is show up once a week and sign the checks.
It's getting late, George.
Proceed, Henry.
Raise your right hand.
Well, what about Bill Honeygar?
Raise your right hand. Do you, Robert Kraft, swear to discharge the duties and responsibilities of this office faithfully and completely to the utmost of your abilities?
I do.
Congratulations, Bob.
Thanks, Mr. Trowbridge. Thank you, Uncle George.
Okay, Miss Lane, you can put through his calls now.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. I'll ring him for you now.
Hello. Are you there? I ordered a pizza like 50 minutes ago, damn it.
There's a guy named Watson on the phone. Says it's urgent. You know him?
Of Olsen Watson?
It's not Watson, it's Poe, damn it, and I want my pepperoni pizza now.
Well, hello. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Watson. I'll do the best job I can. Oh, you're kidding. Well, sir, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it myself. I'll be there within an hour. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, what about this ad?
I have to wait. I'm sorry.
What about my pizza,
you don't
damn
have to
it?
go up there every time.
Can never get good service in this damn town.
Stu Drexel and his wife.
Stu and Betsy. No.
Hi. Hi, Jess. McKee, this is Mr. Jessup of the Milford Herald.
Hi, Jessup. Oh, the west slope between the Pattersons and the Finleys.
What else is new?
You were my big news for the day. Asked about plans for the coming year, Kraft revealed the Immortal Hills will install a drive-in bar to stimulate additional trade. I'm stuck with the
Indeed,
obituary
a
detail.
bar next to
Boy,
a
it's cold in
cemetery is
here.
definitely fitting.
Okay, let's get that
You
done.
can
I'll
drink,
do it tomorrow.
get in the
Gotta
car,
get ready
die,
for
and go right
Aye,
to
that'll
the
be done,
cemetery.
You better change the Drexel pins. Black instead of white.
Oh, they already got black pins, sir.
Oh, who changed them?
Well, now, the last I remember was the very day they come out here to give you the order, and you stuck in 2 pins.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Must have picked up the wrong color. Well, nothing. It's just a little weird, that's all.
What?
Well, the kids came out here right after they tied the knot. They bought a couple of plots. Stu was complying with some technicality in his trust. And it was all very cute. We had a couple of laughs. And afterwards, I jabbed 2 pins in the map, white pins, I thought, just to make it official. And I hear today they've been killed. And the maps had them on the blacklist all the time.
Okay, so what?
Well, nothing. It just made me feel a little eerie, that's all.
I think he means he marked the young couple for death, sir.
Oopsie
Yeah, I guess
daisy.
That must have been the feeling I had.
Sorry.
Well, that's funny what'll go through a guy's mind, isn't it?
Do me a favor, McKee. If he starts fooling around with those pins again, be sure he stays away from the west slope, between the Pattersons and the Finleys.
Indeed, I will, sir.
Hi, Annie. What are you doing out here?
I had a luncheon date, but I was stood up.
I know a nice little place down the street.
I didn't stand you up. I seen your profile pic on Facebook and said
You
hello.
told me about Betsy Stewart. I just had to see you. Made me think how lucky we are just to be alive and together.
Oh, Ann, this is Mr. McKee. This is Miss Craig, my fiancée, Andy.
How do you do?
Miss, would you be wanting me for anything else, Bobby?
No, thanks, Andy.
Bob. What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I'm just a little depressed, that's all. But you'll take care of that. Ann, I kept wishing we could keep our appointment.
Oh, rendezvous, if you don't mind. Your gray flannel is showing. Actually, do you know what made me turn around and come here instead of going home? Well, I
The
was
smell
driving
of the
along,
dead
feeling
animal in
rejected.
front of
And then
your
all
car.
of a sudden, I saw you very clearly in my mind. Bob, it's just that you're too attractive. After all, president of a department store and in charge of the Immortal Hills.
Irresistible.
I saw you and I heard you. Lunchtime, Annie. That's what you said distinctly.
Lunchtime, Annie. Well, I can do better than that, I hope.
Oh, you did. You said, I want you. And I need you. And A whole lot of lovely things I'd be embarrassed.
Like you want to make me a sandwich? Now that is definitely breathtaking.
You know, just about the time you were seeing me, I had you on my mind.
That's amazing.
No, I mean it. And I don't blame you for not wanting to repeat what I was thinking.
We better go to lunch or get married. Or I can just as easily join Jess at that little spot down the road he spoke of.
We regret the management does not...
You mean the one with the tequila bottles and the donkey?
Then I'll freshen up.
Indeed, let's go have a chorizo and egg burrito. So is this the randomizer? Sick and twisted individual.
Immortal Hills Craft. Hi, Carl. No, terrible. No, I'm sorry. The funeral's been confined to the immediate family. Yeah, all right, Carl. I'll see you later.
No, no.
A little smoochy-oochie. Mind if I cut in?
All right, we
Wait
are
a
lucky
minute.
to
You need a tic-tac.
be alive. With each other. Come on.
Well, it looks like a couple of corpses are not going to be in place after all. Diabolical, my friends. Don't be mean to that teddy bear, damn it. It might come back as a dead teddy bear zombie. But once again, welcome to I Bury the Living.
Hey ho, nobody home. Eat nor drink nor money have none. Well, oh well.
Spit shine that
Bobby.
damn tombstone, my friend. Respect the dead.
Hey ho. Ah, I picked the Strexel stone for glass. Fine and rich and swirly. I'm a granite man myself. Bobby! Bobby, I've got a surprise.
Found your replacement.
Oh, well, no, not yet. But I'm scouting the countryside. This is far sweeter. This is what I call getting things done.
Gee, you should have been an executive.
Hey, let's take off your coat, Bobby. You'll be getting overheated.
Indeed. Take off your coat, my friend, and get comfortable. Pour up a drink. Never mind the KY jelly on the counter.
Oh, aye, they smell a wee bit sickly. I was hoping to keep them for the burial this afternoon.
We need much help?
Oh, no, this is just an average funeral. They don't come like the Drexel doings every day, thank the Lord.
McKee, this bill for W. Isham.
I definitely don't think this is going to pass the inspection of the health department, my friend.
Willisham was the same age lad as me. Oh, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. Mighty queer it strikes me, but I went to the map. Just after we got the news, they changed Willisham's pin to black. It was already black. Looks like there might be something creepy up with that map. Changing pen colors without human assistance, no less.
I changed Mr. Isom's pin, Andy.
But, Bob, you haven't been here since he died.
Just a please. I know, I changed his pin before he died, not after. Jess, it's Bob Kraft. Can you come over here right away? No, I'm at the cemetery.
And bring me a bloody martini, damn it.
All you do when you
ASAP.
stick pins in it is to make holes in the paper. White pins, black pins, safety pins. It doesn't make any difference, see? Well, look, it's unfortunate that it worked out this way, but coincidence is a part of everyday life. Some are funny, some are pretty odd, but this one isn't even good enough to make the back page of the shopping news. That's all it is, Bob, coincidence.
Yeah.
It did make
You're
the
right,
corner
Jess.
read of that naughty magazine,
okay.
though, last week.
Sometime when I've tied on a real headbender, you can do the same for me. What's your trouble?
Well, nothing, but I've been through all this before. The grass, and the quiet, and that sound. I never knew what it was. It's the sound of a name being cut into a headstone.
Yeah, I've heard of people who thought they'd been through the same bit before in their dreams. I think it's even happened to me.
What would you say if I told you this happens to me regularly? Ever since I was a child. Sometimes as often as every other week.
I would say you
I'd
need
say
to
you were
relax and smoke a
sensitive or
doobie, my friend.
exaggerating.
Third floor sportswear, 9280 gross. Compared to 8500 as the same date last year. Basement sportswear.
I'm going to call Bates and Honiger and Trowbridge right now and tell them I'm quitting. Don't worry, George. Nothing drastic will happen to the store. My mind's made up.
You mean mixed up? I've lived in Milford all my life, and I can't remember any man who ever let that place get the better of him. Why, when I was chairman, I'll bet I stuck the wrong colored pins in that thing a dozen times. If I ran out of
You
one
were sticking
color,
those
I
pins
used the
somewhere
other.
else, my friend.
You've
and
only
it
been down there
definitely
a couple of times.
was somewhere the sun don't shine.
George. I put black pins in the map for the Drexel couple the day they were killed. I didn't think anything of it at the time. And then I took a white pin out of the map quite at random, and I put a black pin in its place, and today I find out the old man it belonged to died during the week.
Bob, that's terrible. For heaven's sake, Bob, everybody loves a ghost story. Where's your sense of humor?
Indeed,
You don't
everybody
really
loves a
believe that
ghost
story you're telling
story.
No.
Matter of fact, where's my goosebumps?
I still think I may be learning something about myself. Where are you going?
Oh, I think I'll just take a run out to the cemetery.
What for?
Sounds like it might be fun. After all, I've been trying to find some way to wipe out our competition for years.
Good night, George.
Well, since it's all nice and quiet, please somebody make me a bloody martini, damn it. I will tip you double.
Want to take my car?
All right.
Won't be but a moment, sir.
No, don't bother, McKee. I think I've got it. Oh, that'll be all, McKee.
Is everything all right, Bobby?
We'll see you later, Andy.
Well, the place hasn't changed a bit since I was chairman. 2 more pins in the map.
Black ones.
White ones, too. Sit down and relax, Bob. I think I can get this whole thing cleared up for you.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to convince you that there's nothing out here for you to worry about.
George, let's forget this.
Bob, I said I'm just going to convince you.
Well, George, suppose you took Henry Trowbridge's white pin out and put a black one in its place, and tomorrow morning he turned up dead.
It's not a chance.
Well, I know not a chance, but suppose by some weird coincidence it happened. Now, it's happened to me 3 times already.
I deal strictly in facts, son. I don't go for this coincidence funk. But if Henry Trowbridge even looks a little peaked tomorrow, you can resign and I'll back you up. Now, Henry Trowbridge, let me see if I remember.
George, I just mentioned Henry as an example. Now, you're not going to use him.
Why, Henry's as good a choice as anybody, considering he directly preceded you as committee chairman.
Wait a minute, George. You better let me put the pin in. If you do the
don't
honors,
want to
and nothing
slip
happens,
and stick it in another wrong hole.
By all means.
Sounds like a bad
Let's not
encounter with a
diverge from the
prostitute.
established pattern. But I'll have you know, I was no slouch when it came to pinning the tail on the donkey when I was a kid. No reflection on Henry. Go ahead, Bob.
Call Henry and tell him what we did.
He'd only think we were kidding.
No, he'd believe you.
Then he'd call my physician, and he'd reserve a nice quiet room for me at Providence Hospital. Let's keep this quiet, my boy. Henry can't complain. After all, if his term had run a week or so longer, he might be having the willies instead of you.
Indeed, Jeepers Creepers. Look at those peepers. Indeed, black means corpse. Well, of course, a corpse is a corpse, of course. Hee hee hee. Hello.
Oh, Mr. Trowbridge, this is Bob Kraft. What are you doing up so late?
This is not
nothing
who
serious.
you think it is, my
I
friend.
just meant to call Henry earlier and it slipped my mind.
This ain't the
Put him on, will
jerky,
you?
boys. You need to
Okay,
settle
watching
down,
a movie
my
and enjoying
friends.
it.
Once
ask him
again,
to call
never
me back during
mind
the
this
commercial.
schmuck. Once again, unplug your matrix systems and enjoy this coffin classic out of the deadbolt.
Disturb him. Hello, Henry?
I told you he's not here, damn it, quit calling.
He's not breathing, Bob. I've got to call a doctor.
I understand. I'll hang up right away. I'm terribly sorry.
Indeed, the chiseling chiseler at it again.
How do you do, sir?
Well, I don't understand it. Jess said he'd be here in 20 minutes. Lieutenant Claiborne? So
So that's it, huh? Sure big enough. There are the black pins, eh?
We're particularly concerned with these 4. Isham, and the Drexel couple, and now Trowbridge.
Let me get this straight, Mr. Kraft. You say that every time you stick a black pin in the map, people turn up dead?
That's right. Well, go ahead, Lieutenant. You think I'm a crackpot, and I hope you're right. I just want to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Stewart and Elizabeth Drexel, DOA, Emergency Receiving Hospital, result of highway collision. William Isham, cause of death, cerebral hemorrhage. Henry Trowbridge, coronary thrombosis. Well, the rule is this. Where no evidence of homicide exists on initial investigation, the matter will be dropped. Investigated and found nothing. Sorry.
Indeed, drop like panties, my friend.
What's new, or should I say real?
Getting away scot-free.
Nothing like murder, if that's what you're after.
I'm sorry Bob saw fit to disturb you, Lieutenant.
No harm done. What do you make of it, Jess?
I keep telling him it's just coincidence.
Yeah. If I were you, Mr. Kraft, I'd take a week or 2 off. Take it easy. You'll forget all about it. If you're going to use the story, kindly refrain from mentioning my name.
I know. Lieutenant Claiborne, with an E on the end.
Boy, I think 4 deaths could appear so flimsy to a policeman.
You never should have called the police. Claiborne's one of the best. Any other guy might have looked for a big, heavy book to throw at you.
Yeah, you're right. On the other hand, maybe that thing's dangerous. Really dangerous. Or maybe the element of danger is in a man. In me.
Bob.
Is there something different about me, Jess? I'm really beginning to wonder.
Hey, buddy. If there is anything to this map bit, don't go blaming it on nameless forces. Maybe somebody's trying to scare you. Could be you got an enemy or two.
Somebody using your desk, George.
He came in to keep me company, darling.
That was very sweet of him.
Oh, darling, you must be dead tired.
I'm all right.
No sleep, and then to have to go back
I'm
out
all
there
right.
again?
There's no crime in needing a good rest.
George, I've got some correspondence to take care of.
I've already taken care of your mail, and I took the liberty of making reservations for you. Flight 33, leaving for Miami at 5:45. My pal Sanford owns one of the finest hotels on the...
George, thanks anyway. There's nothing I'd rather do, but I can't possibly go now.
Bob, I gave you my word. If anything happened to Henry, you could resign. I talked to Charlie and Bill Holniger, and they understand completely. It's all fixed, son.
The situation's changed. Until this thing's cleared up, I'm not about to resign.
Oh.
And when you tell the others, ask them to meet me here in my office, 7:30 tonight.
Awfully short notice.
The committee can't just ignore what's happened.
Yeah, you can.
I guess you're right.
Put on your blindfold and go la la la.
Darling.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you.
Now, why can't you resign?
Well, because possibly something real, unreal, I don't know, is waiting to kill one of us every time I jab a black pin into that map.
Bob, you're talking about Henry Trowbridge. The poor man died of a heart attack. Heart disease is the country's #1 killer.
Maybe not in Milford.
Oh, Bob, you can't mean that that map is literally killing people?
No, Ann, maybe it isn't the map.
Well...
What about the other day? You saw me, you heard me. Lunchtime, Annie, I want you, I need you.
Bob, I was obviously trying to bring a little romance into our very dull and dismal lives.
Indeed, let me
I
eat
don't deny
sushi
it.
out of your butt.
Bob, I love you. I'm not in any sort of occult thrall to you. Hey, can't you take a joke? All right, then I was lying too. Does that bring you back to reality again? Bob, I think we better take advantage of those plane tickets. George's Mr. Sanford's could be best man.
The offer's awfully attractive.
I love you so much.
And if you're
And
going
I
to cry,
love
do it
you.
someplace else.
Once again, my friends, enjoy this coffin classic out of the dead vault. I Bury the Living from 1950.
Now, Bob, it's real simple. We're willing to play ball with you. If you want to remain chairman of this committee, we wouldn't think of trying to dissuade you. Because we have confidence in you. Full confidence.
All the confidence in the world, Bob.
Now, all we want before we break this up is a promise from you, Mr. Chairman, that before you turn in tonight, you'll go out to the cemetery. Now, let me finish. You'll go out there and change my white pen to black. Charlie's and George's. Just as simple as that. And then go home and go right to bed.
No, sir.
You're not the committee, Bob. You're only our chairman, with the duty to carry out the will of the majority. We feel that you should do as Bill said, because it'll put an end to this business once and for all. Otherwise, we'll do the resigning right here and now.
Well, let me sleep on it. Let's all sleep on it. I don't think you people realize what might be involved here.
Motion defeated. Tonight.
Well, your devotion to the principle of majority rule moves me deeply.
It bowel moves him.
Okay.
Splish splash, my friend.
And good night.
Indeed, playing with corpses again. Indeed, corpse darts is what we'll call this game.
Here goes nothing, Uncle George. Who is it?
It's me, Bobby. Open up.
I seen your car lights from my window driving through the gate, so I come running.
You needn't have bothered McKee. You put in a full day already. Now, I'll see you tomorrow.
No. Bobby, please. Bobby, listen. When you locked and bolted this place, I said to myself, now there's a man who knows his business. That's what I said. He may not know everything what's behind it, but he knows when a thing's to be fooled with and when it's to be left alone.
He definitely don't know how to flush a toilet because, damn, that
Now, you
floating
run
there
on home and don't worry about a
stinks.
thing. Nothing's going to happen to you.
No. Please. Bobby, lock this door again and send yourself home. Or else, who can answer for what may happen to the whole miserable lot of us?
It'll have to be open sometime. If I don't do it, they'll get somebody who will. Good night, Andy. Good night.
Somebody pick up that damn phone.
Andy, go home.
Irritation schwindo. Somebody, please, I mean for real, cut that damn phone.
Hello? Is this the Immortal Hills Cemetery?
What do you want, Jess?
Bob? Why didn't you answer me? I've been looking all over town for you. I'm calling from your place now. What are you doing at the cottage again? Haven't you had enough for one day?
Jess, I think I've done something terribly wrong.
Oh, Pete, what are you talking about?
Well, we had a meeting of the cemetery committee after closing tonight. Bill Honegger, Charlie Bates, and George, everybody. And they voted to make me come out here to the cemetery and stick black pins in the map for each of them. Just like it was some kid's nightmare. So I did it. Jess, there's a black pin in that map for Charlie Bates and Bill Honegger and George. And if anything happens to them, to any of them, it's my fault, nobody else's.
Nothing's going to happen to them, Bob. As a matter of fact, I think they did you a big favor. I've never heard of a coincidence involving 3 people dying all at once.
Indeed. Looking like you set yourself up like a bowling pin.
Well, I hope you're right, Jess. I guess there's nothing for me to do but see this thing through.
I think I'll check on him myself and see... Bob? Bob? Honegger, Bates, and George.
Indeed, my friends, if you are just joining us, once again, this is the Deadbolt Horror Show. We are showcasing none other than Bury the Living, 1958. So get your popcorns and sodas and come and exhume this coffin classic. Definitely love the build-up. No, not the build-up in your teeth, my friends. Floss all day.
Lieutenant Claiborne, please.
Homicide. This is Homicide Sergeant Gray.
Lieutenant Claiborne, please.
Out here. I take a message.
Sergeant, this is Bob Kraft, Kraft's department store.
Oh, sure. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second, I'll check. Mr. Kraft, are you calling on police matters or just something personal?
Well, it's a little bit of both, Sergeant.
Drive at Adams 1311.
Thank you.
Something devious is lurking in this story plot, my friends. What will we experience next? Indeed, they will bury the living.
Adams 13. Adams 1311. Honegger, Adams 1311. Adams 1.
You better call Ghostbusters. Watch out for the zombies.
Give me homicide.
Yes, sir. Homicide.
This is Bob Kraft speaking. I can't get through to that Adams number.
No?
Claiborne's at that number, and it's imperative that I speak to him right now.
Well, sir, just a second, sir. I think he's reporting. Get on another line. I've been trying to get you, but your line's been busy. Hang up and I'll call you back right away.
Something happened to Bill Honegger. Hello.
Yes, Bob.
Jess, I'm expecting a call from Claiborne. Hang up. Call me back in 10 minutes.
Claiborne's with me.
Let me talk to him.
He's not here now.
What's wrong, Jess?
Bill Honegger's dead.
As soon as I found out, I routed Claiborne out of the sack and filled him in on the whole wild story. We were over at Honegger's in 10 minutes with 2 squad cars detailed to cover Charlie Bates and your uncle.
How did Honegger get it?
Well, he didn't. That's the trouble.
What?
Poor guy just dropped dead.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Oopsie daisy.
Bates? Charlie Bates?
Kind of like a voodoo pin. Just poke the map, and then the corpses go splat.
George?
George, yeah. I called and told him about Honegger before I left for Claiborne's. By the time the police got there, George had already left. Well, they'll find him, Bob. Don't worry.
I'll be waiting for word about George. Let me know.
Don't just stand there, you imbecile. Make me a bloody martini or do something. Definitely cross that off your bucket list.
See, you followed our wishes to the letter. Come on. I'll drive you home before you catch pneumonia.
You 3 men made a terrible contribution to this town tonight, whether you meant to or not. I'm not going anywhere, Uncle George. I'm staying right here.
Well, I'll admit that what with Charlie and Bill going so suddenly.
Charlie and Bill and Henry and Isham and Beth and Stu.
Stop looking at the map.
You're looking at it. I'm looking at you. We're both waiting. Aren't we, Uncle George?
Indeed, we're all waiting. Waiting for my damn bloody martini.
Nobody escapes that, my boy.
The only question is how long. The only question is, does a man die in his own time or in the maps? So far, everyone's been forced to conform to its schedule. Everyone but you.
That puts me back on schedule. My own schedule.
If it makes you feel any better.
Let me tell you something, From now on, if you want to see me, you're going to have to come down to the store. I won't make another special trip on your account.
Next time I see you, George, we'll both be right here.
When your bones hit the dirt, my friends. Once again, welcome to the Deadbolt Horror Show. Enjoy. I bury the living.
Yes.
Homicide.
Homicide.
This is Robert Kraft out at Immortal Hills.
Hayborn speaking.
Lieutenant, my uncle just left here. I think under the circumstances, the least you can do is put a man on to watch over him, no matter how ridiculous the situation seems to you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Kraft. We'll take care of it right away.
He's wearing an overcoat over his robe and pajamas.
We put a description of the wire quite some time ago.
You do think there's danger?
Sergeant Kraft, George F. driving east on Bunker Hill. Road from destination Manor Apartments, Big Bunker. We'll have your uncle safe inside of 10 minutes, Mr. Kraft. You'll hear from me.
Indeed. Somebody, please, shoot that damn phone.
Are you sure your uncle was
No
out there
more
tonight? You didn't
phone
just
calls
think you
for
saw him?
tonight.
I told you we just left here.
That was 2 hours ago, and no sign of him anyplace. I put out on all points after the first hour. He's not on the road, and he's not home.
Hold the wire, Lieutenant.
Now it's time to take a trip down the highway to hell, my friends. If you have been enjoying this thus far, I say thank you for congregating here on the Deadbolt Horror Show. Once again, we are exhuming this coffin classic entitled I Bury the Living.
You better come out, Lieutenant. He's still here.
Scurvy dog, you. Put another pin in the donkey's tail.
Randall, my son, where have you been all the day?
Andy!
Someone, I've been out hunting, mother. I've been out hunting, mother. Make my bed soft, mother. Make my bed soon, for I'm sick.
Andy!
McKee, I'm going to burn that stuff in the greenhouse if this heater doesn't work by tonight.
Bobby, it took a whole lifetime of collecting for me to get the whole caboodle here. And see here, you haven't even touched your food. Man, you've got to eat if you want to keep above the ground. Lights for me, Bobby. Of course, I can't answer for what happens after sundown.
Slow down, you pesky pork choppers. Kids play around here.
Let her wait in the car.
I smell bacon. Turn the sirens on loud, my friends, and beware, they bury the living.
Aren't I crazy?
Completely.
I'll never change, I'm afraid.
Annie, I'll see you later.
Bob, please. I take it back.
What?
That day in the car, I did see you and I did hear you. I really did. I should never have denied it.
It's all right, Annie. I'll see you later.
You have a party named Jacob Mittel someplace on the map? M-I-T-T-E-L.
William Porter? Sure.
No?
Yeah. We contact the French designers through Middle. Matter of fact, he's in Paris now.
Better strike him out.
Jay?
Go ahead.
Indeed, pin the tail on the corpse donkey. Round and round it goes. When it's land, the body will decompose.
How did he die?
He isn't dead. At least not yet. I know what you're thinking, Mr. Kraft. You're thinking that we tricked you into killing Jacob Mittel. Well, you're 100% right, so try to relax, huh? This one's on the police. You see, Jacob Mittel's in the prime of life. No previous major illnesses, no record life expectancy, exceptionally good. And he's in Paris with all that ocean water to protect him from this mess. Up until now, all the deaths have been confined to the local area. If it strikes somebody on another continent, then we've really found something.
I knew I should have gotten rid of those pins 4 days ago. Even the map, the whole thing, out. What I want to know is, what are you going to tell the district attorney is responsible for these deaths?
We gave this case a real full-dress investigation, Mr. Kraft.
Tell them they ate some bad chicken wings. They had some type of cow
no motive,
fever.
No opportunity, no suspect, no crime, no weapon. Except 7 pins went in. And the 7 people died, not 1, 7. Who put in those pins? You did, all 7. Other chairmen and so on have been putting pins in that map for years, and nothing happened.
But with me,
it isn't impossible for a certain kind of man to be endowed with powers that nobody had ever dreamed he could have. A lot of scientists claim that. Maps and pins can't kill alone. The power of a human brain has to be behind them. Like in the Indies, I guess. Those
or the
voodoo
power
dolls you
of
hear
a
about.
bullet.
Which doctor sticks pins in
or
the
a
thing
very
to a guy
large
impression is
machete. Or
Shakespeare
a
to die.
dull axe. Or possibly poison, maybe cyanide.
I know he didn't mean to kill anybody. I have to get back. You'll hear from me the minute we get word.
I think I'd best be running alone, too. Well, I think so.
black hole you go, 6 feet deep for eternal sleep, my friends. Indeed, a beautiful graveyard, indeed. But once again, enjoy this coffin classic out of the dead vault, my friends. Not again. The random pin popper. Back at it again, I see. Let's see if he pins the tail on the corpse donkey this time.
Something in me. But I couldn't refuse the job. Not a man with my reasoning power. If I have the power of death using the black pens, then I must have the power of life using the white ones.
Indeed, it looks like he's finally catching on to his own mysterious power. Let's see what happens now. Will the corpses rise from the grave? We will see. It looks like a day late and $1 short, my friends. Once again, welcome back to I Bury the Living. Because I will tonight. Right here, there's a fresh grave. Henry some Mambo Jahambo. I can smell him rotting underneath my feet. Oopsie daisy. It looks like something is sprouting up out of the ground. Could it be that individual has the mystical powers of raising the dead by sticking a single white pin into a black spot? Well, my friends, let's see the corpses dance. What the hell? It's more smoky than a Cheech and Chong film in there. Puffing that doobie a little hard, my friend. Speedy Gonzales in the cemetery. Run, rabbit, run. Run as fast as you can. Because they will catch you, because they are the zombie man. Now what the hell is he running for anyway? I think he puffed on that a little too hard, my friend. Looking like Smokey. Indeed, a little Cisco's going on here. Indeed. What is there, blanks in there? Jesus, he's going to redecorate his walls later, it assumes.
This is the cemetery, that's right.
This is Rosamund Middle.
Rosamund, I don't... Yes.
Can't you hear me? This is Rosamund Middle. Jasper.
Rosamund, yes.
Just listening to cable. Can't you hear me?
You just received a cable from Paris, France.
That's right. I'll read it again.
Regret. Jacob W. Middle died in Hotel Royale. Body awaits disposition. Signed American Embassy, Paris, France.
He died there.
Died in Paris, France. Died. Jacob W. Middle.
Impossible. Impossible, he cannot be dead. But, you still think that thing's the killer? Or your own puny power, Mr. Chairman?
The only power you or that map ever had was me. So far as killing goes, you marked them for death, Mr. Chairman, but who did the deed? Andrew McKee.
Oh, Andy. Why?
You and your high and mighty committee, turning out a man with 40 years of service on the grounds. 40 years.
I told you, Andy, a full pension.
It isn't cash what keeps a man going, lad. What keeps his feet on the ground and keeps him on the job till the Lord makes him quit. The Lord. And nobody else. This is my house, my lands, my activities. Aye. We come a long, dark road to put this gun to your head, Bob.
Andy, we never tried to take anything away from you.
Aye. I made sure of that. I snuck up on each one of them in turn when they was alone and held them fast like so until they went. Aye, even big old George, your uncle, left as easy as a baby.
That doesn't explain what happened to Middle. Middle's dead.
It was easy as a baby, he says. This serial killer has definitely lost all of his screws. No longer loose. Gone.
There's nothing to fear here. That map.
Andy, talk about something else, quick. It's important.
We're finished with talking. Finished you are with maps and pins black and white.
Talk about something else, I said. It's important right now. Talk about anything else. Now.
Let's talk about the birds and the bees and the corpses in the trees.
Because I caused you to kill those people. Andy, you better get this straight right now. You heard that lieutenant. It's possible for some people to have things inside them that make other things happen. Nothing is impossible for a man like that if he thinks about it hard enough. I know you, Andy, you're no killer. I made you do it.
You talked me into killing them? Then they could all be back.
Andy, I never knew it.
How'd you come for that? That noise. Can't you hear it?
Indeed, my friends. Looks like somebody could use some medication. A little pill popping a day will keep the voices and the psychotic behavior away.
They could all be back.
Pin the tail on the corpse donkey. Round and round the corpses will be in the ground.
Don't let it take me, sir. You get me on the fight. Not the young Drex will come. Go away. Go away and leave me alone. Go away. Go. Stay with me.
Dead as a doornail, my friends.
He's dead, Lieutenant.
All right, forget
Deader than a doornail, my friends.
Exhibit A. He really didn't need it. They died of fright first, just like he did.
You're forgetting about those 7 trips to the mausoleum, Lieutenant. 7 bodies, 7 trips.
They helped.
Lieutenant, Jacob Middle died in France.
Well, that was a plant, Mr. Kraft. Middle's all right. Sorry we had to put you through this, but it was the best way to make McKee come out in the open.
Mrs. Middle stayed up all night at headquarters, waiting for us to call in.
Our radio car is posted just outside. We signaled her to phone you and tell you that lie about her husband. Am I getting through to you, Mr. Kraft?
Well, not quite yet.
We watched him, Bob. He actually managed to unearth all 7 of them. Wonder what got into him.
It was those white pens. It was. Annie, I've lost my overcoat.
Oh, where? Which one? I'll get it.
No, never mind. I think I can find it myself.
Indeed, the end, my friends. Once again, I hope you enjoyed that coffin classic out of the dead vaults. Once again, I, Bury the Living, episode 109, is now officially locked in its coffin classic for eternity inside the dead vault. But once again, my friends, I say thank you for watching this evening. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Dead Vault Horror Show. Once again, I say thank you for watching and enjoy till next time. From the depths below, into the fog we go. And another brief message and word from our sponsorships. Good evening, ghouls, goblins, monster kids new and old. I would like to say thank you for all the love and support for showing here at the Horror Host Network. We are working hard for all of you horror hosting fans out there, as well as our fellow horror hosts themselves, for we are creating one of the monstrous platforms ever in the Horror Host community. Once again, the Horror Host Network is now on Amazon Fire TV, as well as Select TV, Rabbit TV, as well as none other than Roku. And make sure to check out none other than the HorrorHostNetwork.com, as well as a big shout out to the Paletti Group. Make sure to follow them on Facebook, as well as another big shout out to our horror hosting community and family, as well as Ultra Toxic TV, Indie Horror Online, as well as Other Worlds Television. We would like to say thank you for all the love and support, as well as everybody at HorrorHost.net and The Vortex. Once again, my friends, I say thank you for all the love and support. We will be bringing you the best in horror entertainment. Once again, my friends, make sure to subscribe to the Deadbolt Horror Show, and make sure to check out Hellfire Radio on Facebook. Once again, my friends, from the depths below, into the fog we go.